So, chapter 262 of Blue Lock came out, and I believe that it is the best chapter in all of Blue Lock. So, in this chapter, Kaiser now understands that his entire persona is a facade to hide away from his father. He was scared that if he failed to be successful like his father, then he would go back to being trash, just like how his father failed, and how he would go back to being his past self. Kaiser hurts and yells at Ness, just like how his father hurt him. Kaiser only knew how to hurt others. His only companion was a soccer ball that he hit and kicked, and no matter what, it would always come back to him. And that's what he now needs. After being arrested, he didn't have the ball, and he was surrounded by humans that were wanted. Ness to Kaiser was trash, the same as him. He was ignored and hated by his teammates for the way he was playing, so Kaiser took him in, together, as a pair of trash. When we meet Kaiser in the NEL, he's confident, arrogant, and the center of his team and attention, and he's worth 300 million. The finisher. He is the king of Munchen. Kaiser in the first two matches is playing a game. He's having fun. He's showing why he's the best. But then, the clown on the stage starts joking around and eventually becomes the center of attention. Isagi's growth has caused Kaiser to go on edge, and Kaiser stops smiling because of this, calling Kaiser a clown, beating Kaiser at reading the field, and evolving rapidly. And Chris Prince's insults and words towards him have started to crumble his persona little by little. We start understanding Kaiser's crack. He's scared of Noah. The impossibility of his plays are a facade. He knows that his desires are impossible, and the Ubers match only hurts him more. Lorenzo pisses off Kaiser because all he cared about is money, but Kaiser is the same way. Why does Lorenzo piss him off? Because on the inside, he hates people who gloat their money. Because money was something he lacked, the reason his dad had him steal, the reason his mom abandoned him, and the reason he was beaten constantly. Isagi scoring 2 goals was also something he didn't enjoy, as Isagi was taking the spotlight and the team away from him. Another thing was how Kaiser was defeated by Baro, the man who knew despair better than anyone else, who knew how to break himself and come back stronger, the one who could adapt just as much as Isagi. He didn't know how Baro did it. Kaiser was ignorant to the ways of adapting, of breaking himself, of true despair. But the biggest thing I want to focus on in the Ubers game was Kaiser's goal. Why would Kaiser be pissed that Isagi had anything to do with that goal? In the Barca match, when Kaiser thought Isagi would assist him, he was happy about it. And when Isagi failed his shot in that Manshine City game, Kaiser was also happy and making fun of Isagi. So what changed here? Kaiser needed Isagi, and that's something he did not want to accept. If he wanted a chance at scoring in this match, he had to rely on Isagi, the one person he didn't want to. He wanted to plunge Isagi into despair, not have him as a crutch. Because in order to escape the hellhole that was his old life, he had to rely on himself in order to steal what he needed to live, and now he's relying on his talents and skill to keep him away from being deemed useless. But because he had to rely on Isagi, he couldn't rely on himself anymore, meaning he was stagnating. All of this culminates into the PXG match. With Isagi scoring and Kaiser breaking, he realizes he's scared of going back to where he wasn't wanted. He insults Ness, forgetting about the piece of trash that helped him this far. Is like him trash-talking Ness is like him forgetting about the ball's existence. The ball that would be silent when he would hit it or insult it. The ball that would be by his side and come back no matter what. The piece of trash, just like him. He turned a person into a piece of trash, but when he offers help, he discards him. To stray away from being trash again, Kaiser stole. He stole the egos, the status, and the passions of people playing the sport, just like how he had to steal when he was younger, like how his mother was stolen away from him by all the fame she got. Kaiser realizes that the throne he had never existed, but he never cared about that. He now tried to find out what he wanted, his true ego. Kaiser starts turning into Sakura petals, or just petals, we're not so sure yet. But the meaning of Sakura petals in Japan has to do with life and death, beauty and violence, as the coming of spring is the promise of new life. And Kaiser is now turning into something new. Kaiser is a petal flying away from the stem, from the thorns at his side, and is coming into his own. Go back to zero, Michael. Kaiser decides what is the depth of his true ego. What does he want? Kaiser refers to himself by the only thing that matters, his name. But his name will not be determined by his parents, but by what he chooses to do now, and that's where he's heading towards. Kaiser then clasps a petal with the memory of him on it. just like how Isagi grasped the puzzle piece with Kaiser on it in the Manshine City game. The difference is Isagi's goal was dethroning Kaiser, while Kaiser's motive is to dethrone his old self. Kaiser's true ego is the ball, his fellow piece of trash. Kaiser looks just like Baro did after quitting Snuffy's job, because they are the same. Baro is done cooperating with someone who is scared of the past. Kaiser is running to prove that the person who is scared of his past is dead. This chapter is my favorite, and I might be biased as Kaiser has been my favorite character, but his character arc has been amazing so far. Kaiser saying his name as a way of acknowledging himself instead of who he has been, the carbon copy of his parents. Kaiser has been like his dad in the fact that they both have reminders of Kaiser's mom, with the rose symbolism, and how he has been losing the fame he previously had. Kaiser has been like his mom in the sense that they both love fame, and how they will discard pieces of trash that they don't need. But in the end, Kaiser has surpassed them both. Unlike his father, he accepted his fall from grace and chose to rise back up, and unlike his mother, he learned not to care about anything he had. He chose to follow what he truly desires. He chose his piece of garbage over everything else, which is something neither of them could do. And as of the making of this video, chapter 263 is not out, but it probably will be, because I'm slow at making videos. It is what it is. But what I want to say before ending the video is that no matter how Michael's journey continues, I will be here for it. And I want to thank Kaneshiro and Nomura, because at this current point in time, the character arc for Kaiser has been wonderful, and it was well damn executed.